Hi guys, I'm Elise, and today I have a couple of quick questions for you. Are you someone who stands up and fights for what they believe in, even when it goes against the grain? Are you a girl who's tired of the boys in your school getting away with inappropriate sexist jokes without being held accountable for their actions? Or are you a girl who's tired of seeing her friends and family be oppressed by a tyrant king who has stolen magic and killed any remaining who have power? Or are you a high school student trying to prove you and your classmates' innocence after a detention gone wrong where you have become the prime suspects? If so, you may just be a rebel with a cause, just like the characters in these stories. Let's check it out. So the first book I want to talk to you guys about is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, which features this awesome and beautiful cover. Quick disclaimer before we get into this, I apologize if I mispronounce the names of some of these characters. I tried to look it up and learn how to say them, but I may still be mispronouncing them, so I'm totally sorry about that. But Children of Blood and Bone tells the story of 16, 17-year-old Zele Adebola, and Zele remembers what life was like before magic was stolen. Before her mother was brutally murdered in front of her, and before her people, which are called the Magi, were oppressed and dragged to the bottom rung of society. This is set in the fantasy kingdom of Orisha, and Zele, her father, and her brother Zane live as fish merchants, and they are barely getting by, trying to stay under the radar because the Magi are despised by the guards and those in charge, and they're brutalized and treated very, very poorly. And Zele, rightfully so, obviously, resents the monarchy and resents the oppression that she's forced to live in. She remembers what magic was like and yearns to be able to train and learn magic because she's at that age where they would start learning magic. But she's unable to do so and has to lie low to not draw the guards' attention. She is fortunate to learn a couple of cool things. She does have a mentor who trains her in staff fighting. Under the radar, obviously, they're not supposed to have any power or be able to fight back, but that is one cool thing and cool way she has of maintaining her culture. She's off in a market in a different city selling fish, trying to make some money for her family, and she has a chance encounter with a rogue princess that basically changes her whole life. With this encounter with the princess, Zele has a chance to bring magic back, to restore hope among her people, and to even possibly lead a revolt against the monarchy. Zele must team up with Princess Amari, who is the daughter of her enemy, and the two journey across the kingdom through vast savannas, jungles, and mountains alongside Zane, with this mysterious scroll that Amari has stolen, which may hold the key to restoring magic. They do this while they are pursued by Amari's brother, Prince Inan, who will stop at nothing to capture enemy number one, Zele, and to save his sister and earn the respect of his father. Zele struggles with her new role as this revolutionary type leader, fearing that she doesn't have the strength or the capabilities to do what's right, and admits her own conflicting feelings that she has about her relationships with Amari, with Inan, with her brother Zane, and even with her own people. This book is fast-paced with lots of action and adventure. It is told through 3 points of view. You have Zele, Amari, and Inan's points of view throughout the entire book. And I think this is a really great way of showing the conflicts not only within the characters themselves and between each other, but also the evolution of the characters throughout the book. It is full of heart-pounding action, and I would highly recommend this book to fans of fantasy or speculative fiction. The book is super diverse, and the setting is this really beautiful culture that is inspired by Tomi Adeyemi's West African and Nigerian roots. And with this inspiration, Tomi Adeyemi is able to tackle real-world issues within a fantasy setting. For example, with the guards and the Magi, the relationship between the two, and how the Magi fear the guards, and how the guards are very violent towards them. This is very reminiscent of the police brutality that members of the African American community experience today. There is something for everyone in this book, including action with some intense and vivid fight scenes. Think like Gladiator, but on boats. There's romance, and of course betrayal, and so much more. So if you love a good fantasy book with action, friendship, strong family ties, and really cool magic, then Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi is for you. Also, there is a sequel to this book, and this is supposed to be a trilogy, so if you are into series, definitely check this book out because the second book is already out, which is called Children of Virtue and Vengeance, so check it out. Girl power is not dead, and in our next book, Moxie by Jennifer Matu, Vivian Carter is fed up with her small-town Texas high school, where football rules and where boys can get away with anything. Vivian is your average high school student. She makes good grades, hangs out with her group of girlfriends that she's known for years, and flies under the radar. But now, Vivian is tired of always following the rules. Tired of sexist remarks from football star Mitchell Wilson and his cronies, the sexist dress code and its unequal enforcement, and unending hallway harassment like the bump and grab, which is a game that guys in her high school play where they bump into a girl so they can inappropriately grab her. Vivian is ready to make a change, but she isn't sure how to when Principal Wilson is Mitchell's dad and does nothing to stop their behavior, citing that boys will be boys. Inspired by her mom's punk rock riot girl days, Vivian creates a feminist zine called Moxie that she distributes anonymously at school to vent her frustrations and to encourage the girls of her school. Soon, Moxie takes on a life of its own, and the girls at her school begin to band together and use their own voices. They draw stars and hearts on their hands to show solidarity. They wear bathrobes to school to protest the dress code. They raise money for the unequally funded girls' soccer teams, and they even stage a walkout. Moxie is more than just Vivian's frustrations. It's a movement that spans every clique and belongs to every girl who's tired of boys not being held accountable for their behavior. This is a great read for readers who enjoy seeing characters find their own voices and learn to stand up for what they believe is right. This book is a coming-of-age story where girls discover their voices and in the process learn about life, friendship, and love. I highly recommend Moxie by Jennifer Matu if you love a good realistic fiction set in a modern-day high school setting where everyday people can use their voices and make a change in the world. This book has also been made into a movie on Netflix, so if you're a fan of the book, definitely check out the movie too. What if you had to team up with 3 of your classmates to prove that all of you are innocent and a detention gone wrong when you don't even know if you can trust each other? That's what happens to the main characters in our next book, One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. 4 students find themselves in detention with the infamous Simon, who's the creator of Bayview High School's most notorious gossip app, which he uses to ruin the lives of fellow students by spreading their deepest, darkest secrets. Bronwyn is the smart, goody two-shoes girl who is Yale-bound and never breaks a rule. Addie is the beauty queen and homecoming princess with the picture-perfect life and the perfect boyfriend. Cooper is the baseball star with a chance at the pros, and Nate is the criminal who is already on probation for dealing drugs and seemingly on a downward spiral. These 5 students walk into Mr. Avery's detention on an ordinary Monday, but only 4 walk out when Simon never makes it out of the classroom alive, and the police believe that this is no accident. Simon planned to post juicy secrets about Bronwyn, Addie, Cooper, and Nate the very next day, so which one of them is lying? All 4 are suspects in his murder, but were they just all at the wrong place at the wrong time, or is something more sinister afoot? Bronwyn, Addie, Cooper, and Nate all have secrets of their own, so how far will they go to keep them from coming out? This book was highly recommended to me, and I absolutely loved it. It's a great suspenseful thriller told from Bronwyn, Addie, Cooper, and Nate's points of view, and I really love the insights from each character and how each section worked together to unravel the mystery of Simon's death, all the while you're trying to figure out who you can trust, if anyone, and who is really behind the crime. I would highly recommend this book to anyone who loves a good murder mystery and who enjoys multiple points of view. The suspense is really well done, and the story will keep you guessing until the end as each character tries to clear their name. If you want to try to solve the mystery, check out One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. Rebels fight for their causes to make the world a better place, whether it's to end sexism like Vivian and Moxie by Jennifer McTew, or to restore a marginalized group to freedom and to bring magic back like Zaylee and Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Rebels also fight for themselves and their friends when wrongfully accused, like in One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. Rebels with a cause work together for a common good, and all of us can change the world just like these characters. If you too are a rebel with a cause, be sure to check out these books so that you can feel inspired and empowered to take on the world.